Welcome to the Coming Out Happy podcast. You're going to come along with us. My name's Keely. I'm a seasoned somatic therapist. And my partner, Dani, she's a 2-time published author and life coach. Let's hype her up. And as we navigate the balance between running 2 businesses, Coming Out Happy, our first company, exploring sustainable well-being, and our second company, FeelSwell Experiences, a leadership development company, you're going to see the real behind the scenes and also get practical tips for a balanced and joyful life. You're going to join us for some real candid conversations about relationships, self-discovery, leadership, in a real down-to-earth way. So from shared stories to laughter, the Coming Out Happy podcast is the go-to place for those seeking wisdom and simple joys and living well. So whether you're here for insights or a good conversation, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. We're on a mission to inspire 1 million people, so you can be a part of that mission by hitting follow and subscribe. And trust me, we're going to give you the best of the best in these episodes. So let's get into it. Hi, Dani.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Sounds like we're answering the phone.
Hello.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for tuning in today.
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Dani, so we want to share a little bit about this direction that we've taken from all the work that we've done and where we're headed and what we're really trying to do. And I think once people can understand this, you're going to be really on board with us because we want to see the world change for better, and we're going to explain to you all the behind the scenes of what we've been doing and where we've been and where we're headed. Does that sound good?
Let's go.
All right. So I'm Keely. This is Dani. You kind of maybe know us in some way, shape, or form. And maybe you've known us before as helping you create a life and relationships that you're really proud of. And that is still true. We still really believe that. But what we've seen over the past, 4.5 years is that we've helped thousands of people around the world. And we've seen that one thing remains the same. People were working on themselves and they were becoming better, and we were giving them tools because I'm a somatic therapist and Dani's a certified life coach.
So we were helping them in their personal life a lot.
Yeah. And we were helping them and we were seeing them grow in their relationships and they were enjoying their life more, but they were still struggling in the one place they spend majority of their time. And the thing about Dani and I is that we like to look at things from a very holistic point of view. And we're like, shit, we have to go to the root. What, you didn't know I was going to say that?
No.
We have to go to the root. The root is they're spending most of their time here, but the workplace, the environment that they're in is toxic, right? It's unhealthy. It's not promoting well-being. It's not promoting having a stress-free life or any of that. And so as we were shifting, I started to do a lot of speaking. I started to see a lot of problems with, policy change organizations and people just checking off boxes. And it made our job really difficult because we saw that people would get checks and certifications and all these other marks saying, hey, this is a great place to work. But we were talking to the actual people that worked there behind the scenes and saying, no, this actually isn't a great place to work. You can't bring your full self to work. You can't, you're not prioritizing your mental health and you're not really focusing on what it looks like to be valued as a human. And so we wanted to change that, and that's when we founded our company, FeelSwell Experiences. Now, FeelSwell Experiences is a leadership training and consulting company, and essentially what we do is, you love it when I use that word.
Essentially.
It's essentially really cool. But what we do is we specialize in transforming organizational culture and developing leaders, which means we're looking at meeting the future of work needs, right? Millennials and Gen Z, that's really who's in the workforce right now. And by 2030, 30% of the workforce will be Gen Z. So with that being said, if you look at Gen X and baby boomers who are leaving right now, not Gen X, but baby boomers who are retiring and leaving right now, we're seeing that we all kind of have the same needs, but Gen Z is a lot more vocal about their needs. And I can attest to this. This is true for me because I was in corporate as a Gen Z person, which I've never really talked about my age on here, but now I am because I can use it to my advantage to really show people that Gen Z has a voice. We do want to work, but we are way more self-aware and we are way more connected to our needs and voicing what it is when it comes to mental health. So the workplace has to evolve with that. We have to revolutionize what it looks like as we change, as we evolve. And that's what I want to be a part of because so many people are spending their days hating their lives. And how many of you, even you're listening to this podcast, how many of you are, you go to bed on a Sunday and it's like the most anxiety ever because you know you have to work the next day. Like, we shouldn't live our lives that way. And I 1000% stand for that we should be able to enjoy our lives and really be in places and be doing things that are meaningful to us while we make a living. Like, it can all be cohesive, and I think that we can have a change in that.
Absolutely. And I think something to note is that because we've been working with people individually for so long, we've been helping them in their personal life. We love showing people really how to love themselves, how to create healthier relationships, how to slow down, how to really understand themselves, become their authentic self, all of these different things that improve their lives. We've also seen that we bring ourselves to work. We also bring work to home. And because these lines are blurred, we want to go into the spaces where you are spending a lot of your time, because we want to advocate for you showing up as your fullest self and really be around people that are trying to create a supportive environment for you as well, no matter what. And I think millennials and Gen Z recognize so many incredible things of what they need, such as, mental health in the workplace, overall holistic well-being. There's a list of things that they need, and they're speaking up about it. And so what we're really trying to do is go into these spaces and train managers on how to effectively communicate with these misunderstood, generations.
Yeah, I think what it is too is that I've seen firsthand the transformation when you give somebody a toolbox of how to take care of themselves, and how it leads to more empathy, more clarity, better conversations, just more peace in general. And we need that, especially with the environment that we're currently in, with, everything happening in the world right now. There's so much injustice. And so if we can create a place where people are at least kind to one another and treat each other with respect and take responsibility for their own emotions, that's what I want to contribute to. That's what I want to be a part of. And by you listening to the podcast, like, you're a part of that too. You're someone that's on board. You've aligned with this mission. There's a reason that you're here listening to this, and we need your support, right? We need you to also advocate for these things. And so it's important that we continue to do research and show the importance and the value of bringing mental wellness and focusing on your well-being as a human into these different spaces. Because Dani's right. If you're stressed out at work and then you come home and you take it out on your family, then it affects your personal life, right? I was doing that. I've shared many times. I almost ruined my relationship with Dani. And I struggled deeply. Like, there was a moment in time where I was driving 3 hours to work one way, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to ruin everything. And it put me on a whole new path, and I can see why now. But at the moment that it happened, I didn't understand. I was so deep in the trenches of overworking and burnout that it was painful. So now, seeing it from an outside perspective and seeing that if we don't change this, things will change in our world. And we won't be as connected. And I will be completely honest with you. I never meant to be an entrepreneur, ever. I was an accidental entrepreneur. I thought I was going to work in corporate for the rest of my life because I honestly love being around people. Being an entrepreneur has been one of the loneliest journeys that I've ever taken. And now we've found community and we're in spaces that support us. But for the last 4.5 years, it's been lonely. It has severely affected our mental health, and we've had to work at it really hard to understand the value of connection and community. And I think if more people had a choice, not everyone would want to be an entrepreneur, right? Like, there's a difference in that. And there's a lot of people that aren't meant to be. And so if we can make the places where we spend our time better, like, that's the goal.
And I think also, no matter if you are working for a company or if you're working for yourself, on our podcasts and on our channels and social media and everything like that, we want to help you grow personally and professionally because they are so connected. And I think that's the whole part, is that you are here to grow, you're here to learn, you're here to become your best self. That's, if you're listening to this, that's what you're hoping to do. So we're very aligned in the mission of, because it's all connected, let's grow from the inside out. Let's create cultures that prioritize wellness and prioritize connection in and out of the workplace with everyone that you're surrounding yourself with. And yeah, I think all of it's just super connected.
Yeah, I mean, I'll share with you maybe some of the behind the scenes of what I think we're going to face when we do this kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think that for the longest time, and please let me know what you think on this. Send me a message on Dani and Keely Official on Instagram, or you can send us an email too. Dani can put that in the description. I don't know what our email is. You do, though. But send me an email. Actually, I have my personal email. I will give that to you because I want to hear from you. If you are an employee, tell me so that I can continue to craft what we're working on to better serve you as an employee. And my email is Keely, Keely, at FeelSwellExperiences.com. I'll have Dani put that in the link because this is the most important thing to me is the research right now to build this out and see a major shift in the solution and change towards where we're headed. But I think one of the major challenges that we'll face, but I think we'll overcome fairly easy, especially with the support of other Gen Z and millennial voices that care about their mental well-being and prioritizing a human first connected world, is we may face people saying, what do you know about leadership? What do you know? You're young, you know, people coming down on us and questioning us and trying to prevent us because I don't know, a lot of times people are retiring anyway. So why would they want to change it? You know, they've been doing it for this long and they've made it through. It may not be the best, but it's not really affecting them. But there are going to be some people that see us and may have felt the same way but didn't have the courage to speak up. And that's where we all come in. That's where we come in and we get to use our voices and we get to step into a world where we start speaking up. Like, I see it so often. I read articles after article after article, and I see, like, people will say to Gen Z, they will say, I admire you. I admire your boldness and your ability to speak up and say what you need. You know, there was a whole thing going around with, if you follow Corporate Natalie, there was a whole thing going around about how a Gen Z employee didn't want to show up to a 8 a.m., which they only work 9 to 5, and they were an hourly based employee, didn't want to show up to their 8 a.m. meeting they got asked to because they had a workout, right? Like, I don't know any other generation that's ever spoken up about those kinds of things and truly said, like, no, this is my time and had boundaries. Mm-hmm. It's because we're self-aware as fuck. Like, we know what we need and we want to continue to cultivate that and develop that with you because we have our standards for how we want to live our life. And I think it's powerful to step into that and also understand how we can shift the culture together. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts, Dani, on what challenges we will face as a company and how we'll overcome them? Like, let's talk about it. How can they support us? How can we all be on this journey together to create a better world?
I think it's just really important that we're all sticking together, not to create a fight between any generations, but to truly understand each other more.
Yeah, that's it.
So
connection.
I think what like a challenge would be is that people think that we're fighting against these different generations, being like, I don't like what you're doing, so this sucks.
No, you're right. It's that we all have the same needs. And it's getting the older generations to see that we all have the same needs of wanting to be seen, heard, valued, etc.
And also feel good. Wellness isn't this abstract thing. Mm-hmm. It's how we can take care of ourselves so that we can sustain our mind, our body, our spirit, our life, all these different things. So I think wellness just needs to be incorporated into everything that we do. It's not just the trendy things. It's like how we breathe, how we can drink water if it's available to us, like all of these different things. So I think it's really just about understanding each other more instead of looking at it like it's one side against the other, because it's not. It's how can we work better together so that we all can thrive and really create meaningful work together.
So I have to ask you something. You know, we shared our mission with you. We want you to be a part of it. If you believe in what we're doing, can you share this with at least 2 coworkers or employees or someone that you know that would benefit from hearing this, or maybe even someone in HR. Like, let them hear and listen in on this conversation, because this is what we want, right? This is what people are saying, and we're trying to echo that as loudly as we can. And let us know if you share it. We want to thank you. So please share this with 2 people that you think would benefit value from this conversation. And then send us a message on Instagram. You have my email now, my personal email. Please send me a message. I want to hear your stories about what you've experienced and what you think needs to change. Like, please tell us. We need to hear from you, and we want to hear from you. And we're so grateful for you being here and just being part of this journey with us.
And remember, the future of work is wellness and human connection, and we are advocating for you. So let's do it.
Let's keep listening to this podcast together. I mean, I always listen to it. Do you? And let's keep growing. We love you. We love having you be here. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, our vlogs come out every Wednesday, and that's where you get to see a little bit more fluff and fun and just Dani and I being together and showing you what we're creating behind the scenes. Like, it's not always easy. We have tough conversations in that vlog. We show you family. We show you our puppy. We show you really what we do and how we enjoy our life every single day, our morning routines, all kinds of things. So follow us, subscribe, support. We just actually had to switch over on our Instagram. So we are restarting from 50,000 followers to 0. We are restarting. People have been coming over. We are so grateful for all of the people that support, love, and been watching us over the last 4 years. Our new Instagram is Dani and Keely Official. Dani will link it in the bio. Our YouTube is Dani and Keely, and our TikTok is also Dani and Keely. So just make sure you're subscribed on all platforms. And of course, you're always on the Coming Out Happy podcast, because together we can all be happier. We can all be in this together. We can share this experience. We can enjoy our lives more. And together, truly, Dani and I are coming out happy together. So that's what it is. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, everyone.